Hi everyone, good morning, happy Monday. It is Miss Balsarac, and in this video we're going to be going over our very first writing assignment. So your very first essay that you have to write in the 6th grade is called a personal narrative. And what's nice about a personal narrative is that you're writing something about you, or maybe something that happened to you or that you've experienced in your life. So what's really nice with this one is that you get to choose your own topic. And in today's assignment and over the next 2 to 3 days, we're going to be trying to pick our topics. So if we go into Google Classroom under Miss Balsarac, we will see this new topic for all of our writing. And underneath it has Brainstorm One. So we'll click on Brainstorm One. And it's going to bring you to a Google slide presentation. And this will be where your assignment can be found. So our very first brainstorm is called the Strong Word Emotion Brainstorm. And if you guys have any questions, the first slide just tells you to go ahead and send me an email. And then the next slide gives you your directions. Our first writing assignment will be writing our own personal narrative essays. Before we begin writing, we are going to learn 3 new ways to brainstorm in order to come up with our essay topics. It's really important that when we're starting to write, or if we're giving a topic or need to write an essay, we don't just get out a piece of pen and paper, or we just don't get on our computers and just start typing and writing. We have to pick a strong topic that we know we have enough things in our minds to write about. In this brainstorm, we will be using strong word emotions to come up with our essay topic. And then on the next slide, you're going to start to construct or to make a list of emotions that you have felt or maybe experienced in your life. When you're done with your list, you're going to highlight the one emotion that you want to use for your brainstorm. So I'm going to walk you through that now. So I'm going to go to the next slide, and I'm going to try to choose my emotion. I have a box for positive emotions over here and a box for negative emotions over here. So I'm going to start with the positive emotions, and I want to make this a bulleted list, and you're just listing your emotions. So I know that I have felt happy. I know that I felt joy. I know that I've been really excited and surprised in my life, and those are kind of positive emotions, being surprised. I've also felt relaxed at times. What's another positive emotion? I've felt content, which is kind of similar to relax. And those are the ones that I want to use. So make sure you have in between like 3 to 5 positive emotions that you guys can think of. Next, I'm going to go over to my negative emotions. Oops. Again, I want to make this a bulleted list. So I'll go over here and just click the bullet. All right, so some negative emotions. I have felt very scared in my life before. I have felt unwanted, maybe by like friends or not being invited somewhere. I've felt sad is a kind of a negative feeling. I've also felt, what's another negative one? I've also felt maybe unhappy in situations. Another negative emotion is being tired, or feeling tired. I have a lot of stories about being very tired. And what's one more? Let's say that I was mad or angry. I can even add mad and angry. Okay, so I added some emotions to each of my lists here, and now I need to look through all of these emotions and pick one emotion that I want to use to start brainstorming. So if I look through all of these, I'm going to go ahead and look at, I think I want to do a positive emotion. I want to have a positive feeling for my essay, so I'm going to highlight surprised. And I'm going to click this button to highlight the color. And I'm going to highlight surprise to let my teacher know that the surprise is the emotion that I'm going with. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to really start to take that idea of being surprised, and you're going to start to do your strong word brainstorm. So right in the middle, the very first thing you'll do is you see we have strong word emotion. Well, my emotion that I picked was being surprised. That's what I'm going to put in the center. And now I have all these 4 boxes around that are different colors that say a story here, one story here, one story here, and one story here. So now what I'm going to do, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to think about all the different times in my life that I have felt surprised. So I'll start up here. And it doesn't need to be anything super long. We're brainstorming, not writing our essay. So one time that I felt surprised was the time when my parents threw me a surprise birthday party. That was a good surprise. Another time I was surprised was when, make sure this is blue as well. Another time I felt really surprised was the time when I got a promotion at work that I was not expecting. That was a really good, happy surprise. What was another surprise? Let me think. Another good surprise was here's a good one. The time that my fiance proposed to me in Mexico. That was a very good surprise. I was not expecting it. And then I'll need to come up with one more here. And you guys do need to try to figure out different times or different stories for when you felt your emotion in these 4 boxes. And then the one time that I was surprised was when, let me think. I'll just do something simple. The time I got sent flowers at work. Okay. So I have my strong word emotion. I have my 4 different times or stories about when I felt this emotion. And now I need to pick which story I could write about the most. So if I'm looking through, if my birthday party was really short, or if my promotion didn't really have that much going on, those wouldn't be stories that I would want to choose to write a whole entire essay about. So I need to think about which one of these I could write a 5-paragraph essay on. So if I look at the time I got sent flowers at work, that was a really nice surprise. I felt surprised, but I was at work. I got called down to the office. I had flowers there, and I was surprised that someone sent me flowers. That is not enough to write a 5-paragraph essay. So if you look at one of your stories and it's really short and you don't think you have enough to write a 5-paragraph essay like I don't with this one, that is not going to be the story that I choose. And then now when I look at this one too, the time I got a promotion, that was surprising, but again, I don't think I have enough to write about with that one. So now I'm looking at these 2. The time I had a surprise birthday party and the time that my fiance proposed to me in Mexico. And looking between these 2, I feel like I could write a bit about both of them. But, excuse me, I think this is the time that I'm going to go ahead and pick to write about, because I know that there's so much that I could write about when I was proposed to in Mexico by my fiance. So I'm going to write the story, which was the time that my fiance proposed to me in Mexico. Okay. So next, what I'm going to do, and this will be added in yours, is I'm going to go ahead and list the ideas of my story. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the time that my fiance proposed to me in Mexico, and I'm going to make another list of just everything I can remember about that day. And I'll just do it in a bulleted list. So I remember it was early in the morning. I'm just jotting down kind of what happened for me to write later on. I was tired and cranky. We watched the sunrise, so I'm just going to write sunrise. I'm going to talk about how I was freezing. I was in Mexico, but for some reason early in the morning I was freezing, and that was a whole big deal. Funny story, we got in a small argument because I was up so early. But it's funny now when we look back on it. Now I'm also going to talk about how there was the sand. He wrote, "Will you marry me?" in the sand, and that was really cool. And then I'm going to also write about the ring. I could go into detail about and write how pretty the ring was and everything that just kind of happened. So what I did was I used my strong word. I came up with my different stories of feeling that strong emotion, and then I picked the one that I could write the most about, which was the time I proposed. My fiance proposed to me in Mexico. And then I'm just going to list the ideas of my story. So when I start to do my rough draft, I have lots of ideas there for me to start writing about. So I just made it a quick list for me to understand that it was early in the morning I could talk about, and I was cranky and tired. That was a whole story. Watching the sunrise and why we watched the sunrise and how pretty it was. The funny story about how I was freezing, and then we got in an argument, which is funny now. And then I could go into detail about how he actually proposed to me and then what the ring looked like. So just from picking out this story in this time that I felt surprised, I already have a nice list here of a couple of different things that I could write about. And some of these ideas here could turn into my body paragraphs later on. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that you come up with your 2 lists of emotions. You highlight the emotion that you want to use. You put your strong word emotion in the middle. And then you come up with your 4 different times that you felt that emotion. Pick one that you can write the most about, and then start to list some of the ideas that you have or some of the things that happened in that time that you chose to write about. Okay? And then when you're done, you need to go ahead and submit this to me. And then tomorrow we're going to be going over our second brainstorming strategy. So this is the strong word emotion strategy, and we're going to be going over another one tomorrow on Tuesday. So this assignment does need to be done and turned in to me before Tuesday morning. All right, as always, if you guys have any questions, just go ahead and shoot me an email. Good luck.